And we are live. What's good, people? It's your man DL Saint. Oh boy, I am back. I was gone. I was in Dallas, Texas over the weekend. I was hanging out with the Fresh and Fit fam. Shout out to Fresh and Fit Dallas. That Dallas team put in some real work. They put together an amazing weekend. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to y'all. Well done, Roderick and the crew. Well done. A lot of people came. People out there love to hate Fresh and Fit, but people don't get to see this side of it. What I saw was a lot of young men, some older men, some mid-aged men, college guys, street guys, nerdy guys, fat guys, skinny guys, strong guys. We saw them all. They came. We had an event on Saturday. We were on a rooftop in Dallas. I don't know if anyone's ever dealt with the Texas sun. Oh my goodness, it's hot. I'm just here to tell you, the Dallas sun is hot. I don't know if they got a magnifying glass on that city. I don't know what's going on, but the men who came to the event, they stood on that roof, dealt with that heat. No one complained about nothing, and waited in line upwards of an hour, hour and a half to share their stories with Fresh and Fit. With Fresh and Myron, to share their stories amongst like-minded men, to show their support, to ask questions, you know what I mean, and to stand strong. And I'm here to tell you, man, that's what we need more of in this country. We need more. I'm telling you now, the brothers that came out, white, black, Latino, right, Asian, you name it. It was Americans, all Americans coming out. These like-minded men coming out and seeking in search of answers, to just share their stories with one another and learn from one another. Republican, Democrat, Trumpers, non-Trumpers, liberals, conservatives. These men come from varied backgrounds. It was a beautiful thing to see. I'm so proud that I was a part of that. So shout out Fresh and Fit Dallas, man. Thanks for showing me love and allowing me to come out and hang. And you guys showed me so much respect, bro. I cannot tip my hat enough to you guys and everyone who showed up. Yeah, Uncle Saint was out there. My old ass was out there trying to hang with them young boys. I'm trying to tell you what, they were running too. Reminded me of myself when I was younger. It was an event-filled weekend. Friday night, Saturday night. I left Sunday afternoon to get back, and I had to recover, kind of hit the ground running. And I think Myron and Fresh got back to Miami Sunday night, and it was just live. They just came off the live, right back to the grind, doing what they do. Those two brothers are really. I got they're men. They're men. I gotta give it to them. What they're doing, love them or hate them, what they're doing, I gotta give them much respect. Much respect. So, what's going on, little sis? Yeah, I made it home safely. I did. Thanks for checking on me. Jay Swans, the Queen of Queens. She gets in there and makes it happen. Team Swanson in the house. So, yeah, thanks. This episode is not gonna be a fun episode. I'm not done talking about what happened in Uvalde, Texas. I'm not done talking about what happened to those poor children and what those families are going through right now. I just wanted to start the show off with, thanking those people in Dallas, Texas who were doing their thing, but now it's time to really get into it. And I want to start off by saying I don't have a problem with law enforcement. I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not anti-law enforcement. In fact, I'm pro-law enforcement. I'm pro-law enforcement. I know what it looks like. I know what chaos looks like. I know what it's like in the hood. I know what it's like when things get bad, when things get real bad. You want to be able to call 911. You want to be able to call and know someone's going to come to at least stop whatever's going on. Normally, when law enforcement shows up, that's enough to stop whatever's going on, at least make people pause and look and figure it out. You need law enforcement. But we got a problem now. There's a problem we have that I've known my whole life, and people who've grown up in similar situations like me. And I'm talking about people who came up in the streets, in the hood, people who came up in the trailer parks, people who came up in the barrios, right? The lower income folks, people of color. When law enforcement show up, sometimes they want to get heavy handed. They show up in numbers and they want to get big. There's always just a couple of them talking that talk, right? They'll gladly talk that talk when they have the numbers. It's rare that law enforcement shows up without the numbers and they get big. It's rare. I've seen it. I know some brave cops. I've met some brave law enforcement people. I have met them. I know them. People that earn respect in the places that they patrol. I've seen it. But for every cop like that, for every good cop, for every cop that is brave and courageous, there's about 50 cops that are cowards. I'm just keeping it 100. I've seen so many incidents where the police officers make the situation worse. I've seen incidents when things got real bad and the police run away. I've seen that. And now the world has seen it. What happened in Texas? What happened in Texas is just unexcusable. I don't care that American flag with the blue line. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that for a long time. Go ahead and get rid of those. Blue lives matter. How about little kids' lives matter? How about that? I ain't hear nobody screaming that. 78 minutes. 78 minutes is what the New York Times is reporting. They published the timeline. And here's the thing. It's really difficult for media to piece this together. They're not getting a whole lot of help. They're not. And this is what a free press looks like. This is why we need a free press. Right? I'm sick of all of the comments that these people make. Now, of course, you make an exception in this one. But people in their opinions, just give me the facts. Give me the facts. Brother Albert, how you doing? You know what I mean? Please, y'all out there, and welcome, Brother Albert. And like I said, everyone, yes, please like the video if you do like it. If you don't like it, I understand. My brother Jay Swans got something to say to them coward Texas cop, a quote from a wise community prophet. Yeah, F the police. NWA. When you really start, when you get into your hip hop history and all the stuff that NWA, all that bullshit they took from the media, from law enforcement community and all that kind of stuff. Look at what they're talking about. I mean, think about that. And people thought it was okay when they were messing with us. What did Ice Cube say? Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad because I'm brown and not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. They have the authority to kill a minority. And they've been doing that. I don't have to say the names. Philando Castile, probably a different name than what you was thinking. George Floyd, probably a different name than you was thinking. I forget the name of the young brother in Dayton. The little kid was playing with a toy gun, got shot up. A young nigga, you know what I'm saying? What Ice Cube was saying, I'm sorry I had a lapse in concentration there because I was just thinking about it. It's been okay to kill people who look like me. It's been okay to kill the Latinos out there, right? Shout out to the Cholos out there. I see y'all. It's been okay to kill them. It's been okay to kill people who look like me. It's been okay to kind of okay to kill poor white boys. You know what I mean? In the trailer parks out there. But look what they did with these kids, man. 78 minutes is being reported. 78 minutes from the time that shooter entered the building until that shooter was neutralized. 78 minutes. You got a problem. Colonel Sanders, what's good, brother? I see you. Thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for coming through. 78 minutes is being reported right now. Those police officers didn't go into that room, man. They didn't go into that room. And I remember when this story broke, I said on this platform, like, oh, there were a couple resource officers on the scene. They exchanged gunfire with the shooter. They saw him coming in. The shooter managed to push through because he had on body armor and he had assault style weapons. He pushed through. All that was a lie. We know now that none of that happened. None of it happened. There was no exchange of gunfire. There was no resource officer. Apparently, there were two officers there. They didn't engage him. They saw him coming. They ran. They saw him going to the building. And at one point, there were up to 19 police officers outside that classroom listening to this madman kill babies. Outside the door. They never even checked to see if the door was unlocked or locked. They never touched the door. They're just in the hallway. Up to 19 cops. Up to 19 cops. They're putting all the blame on the person who was in charge of the operation, a guy who had virtually zero experience. They want to put the blame on him because he was sending mixed signals. His orders didn't quite make sense. That's what these people are saying. What orders? You're sitting outside of a room and you hear this, you know there's a crazy person in there with a weapon and you hear him firing the weapon. There are children inside that room and you don't even try to breach the door. There's a show on YouTube called Breaking Point with Crystal and Cigar. I think that's his last name. They've been covering this big time. Check them out. Go to that site and watch the news that they're putting out there. Crystal was reporting that 3 police officers were on scene 2 minutes after the shooter entered the school building at 11:33. 2 minutes after that, 11:35, there were 3 police officers there. Three. Sitting outside that classroom door, listening to this madman fire his rifle into children. 3. Kids. The only thing between you and the shooter is a door. 78 minutes. And apparently it would have taken longer, but once the Border Patrol agents got on scene, they didn't wait. They're like, fuck this. They went in. They made entry. They got the keys from the janitor, unlocked the door, pushed it open, and shot the guy. Again, I'm still waiting for the final analysis, but that's what it looks like. They didn't even have to get a ram. They didn't have to breach the door in some dramatic fashion. They got the key, unlocked it, and pushed the door open. Went inside. There he is. Engaged. Children were calling from inside the classroom. They can hear the police officers outside the door. Children were calling from inside the classroom on their cell phones, calling 911, begging the operator to have the police come in now. Little kids. There's a story of a little girl who covered herself with her best friend's blood, who was laying bleeding out right next to her, and she laid on top of it. And she could hear her best friend die. She could hear her best friend die. Children, these kids will never be the same, ever. These kids were savvy enough to play dead, rubbing blood on themselves and lying still and trying to control their breathing while this maniac walks among them. There's an unconfirmed story that one of the children heard a police officer outside the door say, if you need help, say you need help. And the kid said, I need help. And the shooter comes over and ends that child's life. These stories are coming out now. These are the stories that are coming out. I mean, say what you want, man, but my experience, and I've been really trying to be political about this. I've been trying to hold back. I really have been. We need law enforcement. We absolutely need law enforcement. but we don't need cowards. It's a tough job. It's a very difficult job. You cannot be afraid. If you're 3 police officers outside the door, you can't be afraid to breach. And I hope to God some cop finds this video and challenges me. You don't know what it's like. I do know what it's like. You can't be afraid to get shot at. You can't be afraid to die. If you are, find another job. Walmart's hiring. Target's hiring. Take that fucking uniform off and quit talking shit to me. I got no sympathy for cowards. None. Y'all see me? Do I look like a coward? I can have an avatar here. I don't have to have my picture here. Do I seem like I'm afraid? If you in law enforcement, you don't like what I'm saying, come fucking see me. Look me up. My name is Donald Lewis. Look me up. Pull up my shit. Pull up behind me. Turn your fucking lights on. You want to test yourself? Come see me. Y'all run up and kill unarmed grown-ups without a problem. You'll choke people to death without a problem. You'll empty your magazine. You'll empty your whole weapon into somebody who's unarmed without a problem. But you can't run into a door. You can't breach a door to go save some children. Man, fuck you. I hope you're watching. Please hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up. If you law enforcement, you try to excuse what these fuckers did, take off your uniform too. There is no excuse for this. Jay Swans, I guess 19 good guys with guns can't stop one bad. If he has a gun too, bitch ass cowards. Yeah. That whole narrative is, good guy with a gun stops bad guy with a gun. Yeah, that narrative's out the window now. It's out the fucking window. All them cowards should be replaced with firefighters. They're running to building and risk their lives to save kids. Funny you mentioned that shit, bro. I got something I want to show y'all. This is what fucking bravery looks like. That house is on fucking fire. Those police officers, those firemen just got there. Look at what he's doing with all that equipment on. Kicking the fucking door down by himself. This building is on fire. You can see the flames. There's nobody in that building. They're going in there, so they're trying to save the family home. They're trying to save this house over here to the left. I'm sure there's a house over here to the right. They're running into a burning building. They're in the building. Look at that. And people are, oh, no one's shooting. You don't know what's in that building. You don't know if that person has a bunch of firearms in there. You know if there's a bunch of ammo right there under this fire, burning, cooking off. You don't know that. You don't know if they got explosives in there. You don't know what kind of chemicals gag in it. Those firemen don't seem to care, do they? Running into the building without hesitation. They just going in the building. Those men are heroes. Heroes. Men and women who run into fire. Heroes. If someone told them there was some kids in there, they'd have ran in there 15 times faster. So I'm not going to come here and just bitch out law enforcement for 45 minutes. But I do have some things I want to say. Canardak, what's up? What's good, DL? Keep rocking down. Crime just up overall. That shit with Fresh and Fist in Dallas got me over here thinking that Batman be more invisible. Yeah. So on that trip, Fresh and Fit, the Dallas team secured an Airbnb, a really nice Airbnb in a really nice area. And Saturday when the fellas got back from one of the events, someone had broken into the Airbnb. They smashed the front door was made of glass. Someone smashed the glass, ran in, and they only took Fresh's bag. I think he had a Louis backpack or something like that. Maybe a Gucci. I think it was Louis Vuitton backpack. They took that. There was nothing in there. There was nothing of value there. They left thousands of dollars of stuff. There was stuff laying around. There was electronics, computers, headphones, earbuds, TVs. There was all kind of stuff in that Airbnb. It was a really nice one. They didn't touch nothing, but they just took Fresh's bag. So naturally, they came out of there. They hit me up, asked me where I was staying. I told them. They had me like, yo, secure us a couple rooms. We coming down. I took care of that for them. So when they got there, had their keys ready for them. Like, here go y'all keys, everything. We sorted it out. No, I didn't pay for their rooms. Myron was adamant. I didn't have a problem with it, but Myron was adamant. No, bro. What's your Venmo? Send me. I'm like, nah, man. All you gotta do is give them a card. They'll exchange they'll change the credit cards. It's right there. I mean, however you want to do it, bro, it's cool. I get it. It's a problem. He was adamant about that. The Fresh and Fit guys are not scammers. They don't scam the people in their community. They don't do it. They don't take money. They're not comfortable taking money. If they do their DM on demands course, which they have done before in the past, I've never taken it because I'm just not into that. But there's a lot of people who take it. In fact, it is the people in the Fresh and Fit world, right? The Fresh and Fit fam are always bugging them. Can you please do another one? Can you please do another one? It's so popular. They recently, I think they're about to start one, or they just did one or something like that. Again, I'm not into the DMs on demand. I'm not into Instagram like that. But I just want you guys to know, those guys are not scammers. I haven't seen them do anything like that. There was a problem. They had to deal with that. Law enforcement showed up with the Airbnb. We had to be at another event that night. I just thought it'd be quicker to secure the rooms. When they got there, they had the rooms. They can get ready, and we made it to the event. You know what I mean? So it wasn't no big thing. And no, I did not pay for the rooms. Fresh and Fit, Myron pay for their own rooms. They have a business or whatever. I just want to throw that out there. But that's what Kennard's talking about. They place got broken into, which was crazy. Jay Swan's little girl had more balls than them Texas cowards. Yeah. Brother Albert. 1 9-year-old survived. Yeah, there was some children did survive. I know a little boy survived, and he was on Good Morning America a couple days ago. I didn't watch that episode. I'm gonna probably catch it on YouTube. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really don't want to. I don't want to listen to this young boy, this child, tell me what he had to do to survive this massacre. I really don't want to hear that. I mean, it's hard enough to have this conversation, but I really don't want to hear this child explain what it was like from his side. I mean, what do you think it was like? He's sitting there playing dead while this man's walking around putting 5.56 rounds into children. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. I ain't gonna lie. Brother Michael, what's going on? Hey, what up, I'm glad you made it back safe. Keep preaching the truth, 100, much love. I will, brother. And Brother Michael here, yo, go check him out. He's a young guy out of Tennessee. He's a personal trainer, and he's working on building up his I think it's more of a virtual training kind of thing, I guess, with COVID, so people are getting creative. This young brother, he looks like he's 12 and a half, but he's grown. He's old enough to drink, y'all. He's old enough to drink. But he was telling me, like, yeah, man, when I was in high school, I was fat. Showed me a picture of what he used to look like and what he looks like now. Of course, I can see because he's sitting right there. A sharp brother, sharp young brother. You know what I mean? I'm proud that I was able to break bread with the man and hang out. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, you know what I'm saying, Money Mike. I call him Money Mike. You know what I'm saying? I try to give my people little nicknames. He ain't street, but I be trying my best to give him that little street vibe. You know what I'm saying? But Money Mike out there making it happen. I'm so proud of him. Brother Lincoln out there in Texas making it happen. I'm proud of him as well. You know what I mean? Brother Ness, what's good? Hey, fam, what's the topic? The Fresh and Fit robbery? No, I'm talking about law enforcement's failure to act in Uvalde, Texas. I'm talking about the 78 minutes from the time the shooter entered the building until the time that the shooter was neutralized. 78 minutes. Well, that monster was walking around doing what he was doing to these babies. 78 minutes. And I really do take this personal because I done seen so many cops get big for no reason. Like I said, I done seen cops take normal situations and turn it bad, and people go to jail behind it. And it's always the cop. And then the cops, again, there's no integrity. There's no integrity from a lot of these law enforcement people. This shit goes to their head like they believe that they're judge, jury, and executioner because they're there with all these people behind them. They get big. They know they're wrong and they don't care. And yes, they will lie. They will tell a lie on you and get you locked up and put you into the system and have you sit somewhere in a county jail or a city jail or even go upstate for something you wouldn't do, something you didn't do. I've seen it. So yeah, brother, I'm talking about the cowardice that's in the United States law enforcement community. Brother Colonel Sanders, facts. They'll now politicize the survivors, though. Yep. Let the kids process and get therapy. They will politicize this, and that's a shame. What's good, Wonderful 34? Welcome, brother. They will politicize this, and that is an absolute shame. This is something everybody can get behind. I'm not looking for to get out some political message. I'm not doing that here tonight. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I want to talk about is this. Law enforcement needs training. I've talked about this before. Law enforcement needs training. Law enforcement training needs standards. Real standards. I'm sick and tired of seeing police officers that are 5'8" and 305 pounds. That should not be a thing. That police officer can't help. He can't help anybody. If you're obese, you can't be a cop. Period. If you want fat cops, fine. They do paperwork. They go into buildings. They take out the trash, whatever. They don't carry a weapon. They don't get in a cruiser. They don't conduct training. You can't be a fat person. Ain't gonna be out there teaching me how to do the job that you obviously can't do. Standards. Height, weight requirements has to be one of those standards. Marksmanship has to be one of those standards. Police officers need, for every hour they spend on the street, they should spend 5 hours training. Simple as that. Police officers should be training all the time. All the time, especially the way the country is right now. They should be training. You need standards. You need cutoff scores. I'm not saying that you got to train to the level of the Green Berets, because when you go through selection, they don't even tell you what the standard is. You just out there doing it. They don't tell you. They tell you to do a 2-mile run. They're not telling you do the 2-mile run in less than this. They just tell you to go. And they're sitting there at the end with the stopwatch. And when it gets to wherever that cutoff is, boom, time. Anybody who hasn't crossed already, you gone. Thanks for trying. That's day one. That's day one. They don't tell you how many push-ups you need to do. Start. You know what I mean? That's day one. Land navigation, all that stuff. I'm not saying they need to train to that standard for the average police officer. I'm not saying that. But we need a standard. And it should be one standard across the board for all American law enforcement. For all U.S. law enforcement, there should be one standard. If you don't make this cutoff score, you don't do this, you're done. You got to talk about pay. Base pay for any law enforcement official, any cop, any sheriff, any marshal, any whoever that you see walking around. If they're out there serving and protecting, that individual should be making no less than $100,000 a year. Baseline. As soon as they finish all that training, once they're certified, once they earn that shield, they earn that badge, $100,000 a year. Base. And yeah, it can be done. It can be done. That standard has to be maintained throughout their career. If you're on the street, you got to meet this standard right here. You want to be a disgusting fat body? You want to gain another 150 pounds or whatever, you could barely fit into your uniform, fine. Turn in your weapon and go report to the office over there. And we cutting that pay. We ain't paying you $100,000 a year to be sitting in the office shuffling papers. We're not doing that. Got to maintain that standard. And there has to be accountability throughout the process, in training. Accountability. Accountability. If you get out there or whatever and you lose your nerve and you can't breach a door when there's a bad person on the other side taking lives, all right, that's fine, man. That's fine. But you're done. You're done. If you're given an instruction to do something by a superior and you don't do it because you're simply afraid, all right, man, that's fine. But you're done. Accountability. You are accountable out there. You're not turning off your body cam when you're instructed to. You're not doing that. Accountability. 3 cops on the scene 2 minutes after the shooter entered the building. 19 police officers sat in that hallway. 78 minutes went by from the time that shooter went into that building to massacre those people, those children, those babies. 78 minutes. This ain't a red or blue thing, black or white thing. That crazy piece of shit killed those babies. He did they couldn't identify a lot of those babies. They needed DNA. They needed DNA to identify these children. I know what an assault rifle can do to grown-up bodies. Could only imagine what it was doing to those poor kids. And those poor babies were laying there on the phone with 911, begging with the operator to tell the police to come in. Please tell the police to come in. And all that. Seems like we're headed back to the Wild Wild West when you had to protect yourself because the law couldn't do it. Brother, to be honest with you, man, in certain neighborhoods, it's always been like that. Where I grew up, you had to protect yourself. I kept a weapon on me. I wasn't the only one. I can remember the first time I saw someone get shot. Police show up with paramedics, and they all leave. Police leave. 10 minutes later, I got a guy with a gun in my face. The only reason I survived that night is one of the guys in the crowd recognized my cousin and came to the front and was like, nah, they good. That's the only reason you can hear my voice. Because the shooter, the guy that was going to shoot me and my cousin, his buddy, his homeboy, just committed the shooting that happened. 15 minutes prior to that. It was his homeboy. We knew him. We grew up with him. Dude was about to shoot me in the face. The only reason I'm sitting here is because someone stepped up. I got a bunch of stories like that. Police was on the scene. Someone was shot. You can still see that there was a problem going on, and law enforcement left. And I almost got shot in the face. And when I tell a story to my people, they was like, man, you know you was wrong. Because we had a shotgun in the trunk. But the keys were inside the club. The bouncer pulled the doors closed. We couldn't get back in the club. So it didn't matter. He just shot me in the face. I'd have died right there. I was less than 50 feet away from a 12-gauge shotgun. What good was it going to do me? I'm in high school. I learned all this before I went to war. I couldn't wait to go to war. I was better trained. I felt safer. So I've known my whole life that you can't count on law enforcement, brother. So that's just the way I came up. Now I'm in a different place. I live a different life. When I call the police, they show up. They show up quick. I'm in a good neighborhood. They treat me with respect. I'm in a good neighborhood. Even though I'm black, they still treat me with respect. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm down here in Hillsborough County. I said it before. I'll say it again. Shout out to them. They haven't treated me any different because of the color of my skin. They say hello to me. I say hello to them. I don't get harassed. They'll talk to me. You walk up to them. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? They'll sit down and actually talk to you. Most law enforcement, most cops won't do that. And I'm here to tell you, those are the cowards. They easy to spot. They easy to spot. They as gentle as a puppy when you see them by themselves. You know what I'm saying? When they sitting there with another 10, 15 cops, oh yeah, they big and bad then. 78 minutes. That's how long. 78 minutes. So we're gonna watch this, y'all. We're gonna keep our eye on this. We're gonna keep our eye on this, and we're gonna figure this out. I ask if anyone who's listening to this now, who's gonna watch the replay, I don't care if you are conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're a Trumper. I don't care if you far left. I don't care where you sit on the political spectrum. I don't care how you feel about guns. I don't care how you feel about any of that. Let's not forget what happened here. 78 minutes went by. Law enforcement sat there and listened to a madman pump rounds into babies. That's all we need to talk about. How do we keep cowardly cops off the police force? That's all we need to talk about. We don't need to talk about all that other stuff. We can have those conversations. We've been talking about gun regulations and all this kind of stuff, background checks, this, that, it doesn't matter. Even if we had the background checks that people want, it wouldn't have stopped this kid. He was 18 years old. He didn't have any red flags. He would have got past all the red flag laws. He still would have been able to purchase those weapons. It doesn't matter. The problem here is how can any person, any man, any woman sit there and listen to children get slaughtered on the other side of a door? How can anybody do that? Please, y'all, talk to people you don't normally talk to and say, hey, let's put the politics aside just for one moment, and let's figure out a way to keep this from happening again. Let's figure out a way to weed out these cowards that are in uniform walking around here. Let's figure that out. So check out Breaking Points, y'all. Crystal Ball was breaking it down. She had a segment in there where they were talking about a woman who drove 40 minutes to get to the scene. She drove 40 minutes to get there, got to the scene, was confronting federal agents who subdued her, handcuffed her, and then let her go. She pushed past them at that point, managed to get into the school and got her kids out of the school. She did all that before law enforcement breached that classroom and neutralized the shooter. Think about that for a minute. She found out about what was going on at her child's school, drove 40 minutes to get there, had to figure out a way to push through the federal agents who had set up the perimeter, got put in the handcuffs or the zip ties, whatever they use. She was subdued. They let her go, removed the restraints. She pushes into the perimeter, manages to get into the school, gets her child, and gets out. All this before law enforcement breached the door to stop this killer. Think about that, y'all. Think about that. We got a lot of problems in this country. We do. But we got to learn how to start working on these problems at the same time. Open to a conversation about background checks, regulations. I'm open to a conversation. I'm a big time Second Amendment guy, but I'm open to some conversations. But what needs to happen right now, today, we need to weed out all those cowardly cops who can't hack it. Period. And I don't want to hear that shit when people talking about, oh, it's only just a couple of them. It was at least 19 of them inside that hall, inside that building, in the hallway, right next to the classroom. At least 19 of them. And in that story I just told you, Crystal said this on her show. What the hell was that federal agent doing? He all big and bad with this little woman who's just trying to get her child. Why wasn't he inside? So how many other police officers were outside? All of them geared up, like they hardcore, like they hood, like they fucking earned it. They didn't earn it. Colonel Sanders, what's good, man? We need the two-way because we need the Second Amendment because of the amount of cowards in the police force. Yeah, we need the Second Amendment for a lot of things, but certainly need it now. We need it for a lot of things. So, that's all I got for today. This is just gonna be a short one. 78 minutes. 78 minutes. 78 minutes. I'm just going to end the stream with this. What if these firemen here waited 78 minutes to put out this fire? What if they did that? They went right in. They didn't wait on shit. These bums, man, 78 minutes, shaking my head. You're right. They didn't wait on shit. Yo, I'm DL Saint. I'm a very pissed off DL Saint right now. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. Please, y'all, go talk to other Americans. Don't give a fuck what they believe in politically. Go talk to them about 78 minutes, y'all. 78 minutes. It's time to weed out those who can't hack it in the police force. They want to play like they military. Let's be military. Let's get rid of them. 78 minutes. Those poor babies bled out inside there. They bled to death on the floor of their classroom while police officers were feet away on the other side of the door. 78 minutes. I gotta go, y'all.